Hello, YouTube. Hello, YouTube, man. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Um, if you're new here, I'm new here too because this is the starter. This is the beginning. This is only the beginning of me and my story times. I'll tell you that much. Welcome back to my channel. Um, if you don't know who I am, my name is Des, and I'm just here. I'm just here, man. I'm just here to share my stories because like I told y'all in my welcome to my video, short ass video, um girl, boy, y'all, period, my life is a fucking movie. And I was just like, damn, I've been meaning to start this page for a minute. And I was like, people need to, because I can't make this shit up. This is like, at this point, after it happens, I'll be like, this is very much so entertaining. This is high quality entertainment. And everybody got to know this shit, not just my little small circle. So I'm here. Hi, friends. I'm here. Yeah. This video, I'm going to talk about my military life because majority of my adult life, damn near all of my adult life so far, because God willing, I'm gonna be here for a minute. But majority of my adult life has been the military up until this February 2024. I'm not gonna tell y'all everything in this video, just like because I know like there's so many people that be coming onto YouTube either getting ready to go in the military or they in the military with relatable shit, and it's like da 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 da. Because I know for me, when I was about to join, okay, so let me start off by saying this: I was in the Air Force for 9.5 years. September would have been 10 years, but I medically retired back in February, and I was security forces. If you know, you know. And yes, I did choose it. I did not know any better. They showed me this nice video of motherfuckers riding four wheelers and doing cool shit. And I'm like, I'm at the time when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. That's so cool. I want to ride a four wheeler. I didn't say it like that, obviously, because I don't sound like that. But I was just like, oh my God, I would love to do that. That'd be so fun. I've never ridden a four wheeler before. I've never, done all that stuff. And I had something to prove at that time because my whole family was like, oh my God, Desi, you so girly. You're not going to be able to survive in the military. I'm like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? Bet. Watch me. So I was like, I think I was like 17 years old when I took the ASVAB in high school. And at that time, I wasn't even looking into the military really. Like my cousin, she had just joined the army. And I'm like, wow, she's pretty cool. I love the uniform, all that shit. But I don't know if that's that's what I want to do with life. Like, you know what I mean? And then they were like, yeah, if you want to take the ASVAB, go ahead and sign up. And I did not want to be in class. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't want to be in class. So that's why I decided to take the ASVAB. So I was like, I don't want to be in class right now. And I hate that class that it was going on at. So I was like, let me just go ahead and sign my name. I signed my name, completely forgot that I had signed my name. And like some weeks go by, and then they're like, why are you here in class? You're supposed to be going to take the test. I'm like, what test? Because I'm like, I didn't study for this test. What fucking test y'all talking about? And they were like, the one for the military. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I did that. So I'm like, well, guess I'm gonna go ahead and leave class then. At least you know I'm here. So I did it. And I did decent. I did decent. I wasn't, obviously I didn't take it serious. I just wanted to be out of class. For somebody who wanted to be out of class, I dipped. I did decent. I did decent ish. I ain't gonna tell you I'm my first score because it's a little bit embarrassing. None of your business. Just know I did good enough to join the Air Force, okay? So did that. And then, the rest of the school year goes on, and it's like getting down. This is my senior year. It's getting down to the crunch time. Like, okay, what are you doing with your life? Everybody that is one of my mom's friends is like, oh my God, what are you going to do after you graduate? Are you excited? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know. I was a professional procrastinator when I was in high school. I was good at it too. Like nobody even noticed that's how good I was. Okay. I did just enough to stay under the radar, but also for me just to be chilling. So especially my senior year, the only thing that I was thinking about was graduating. That's it. That's it. So they're like, "What are you doing? Do with your life?" I'm like, "I don't know. I might join the military." Knowing damn fucking well. Anyway, so I knew damn well that I had no fucking idea what I want to do in my life. And honestly, I was just saying the military so people will stop asking me. You know, you say you throw the military out there and they're like, "Oh wow, you're so cool." Da 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 da. So I'm like, cool. So then fast forward to graduation, I make it out. I did that shit, you know, yay me. Ah, woo. And I'm like, my mom's like, "What are you gonna do with your life?" I'm like, "Girl, I'm gonna go to college." Didn't apply for any colleges, by the way. So I'm just over here saying stuff. Like I said, procrastinator. I just be doing shit, saying shit, and doing shit. And I'm like, okay. So I take like a whole year, figure out my fucking life, right? And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm really gonna go to the military. Talk to my cousin about it, and I'm like, "Girl, do you like it in there? Like, what's life?" Mind you, this time she's living in Hawaii. So I'm like, you know what? That seems really fucking cool. They're gonna move me away from home for the free. I'm gonna get to travel for the free on the military and the DOD and the government dime, not mine. I'm in there like swimwear. Like I'm Audi 3000 gone, right? She's like, "You better not join the army." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "You live life. You're living life. Life looks happy. You look happy. You look healthy. You look good. You know, she done got herself a husband and all of that stuff." I'm like, "Wow, the military give you everything. Let me join." She's like, "Join the Air Force. I've been around some of them folks. They are happier." I'm like, "Okay, let me look into them real quick." So I tried to get in contact with a recruiter. This dude did not fuck with me, y'all. He did not fuck with me. So I'm like, okay, I give up. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to an army recruiter. Fuck the Air Force. Then I go to another building across town. I'm like, okay, let me try them. Army recruiters are not in, but guess who is in? The fucking Air Force recruiters. So I'm like, let me walk in here and see if I get better luck over here because there's no way that one dude can be over here. Get a whole new recruiter. This man sold me a dream. He sold me a dream. Okay, so the dream, a dream, the dream. Like my mindset was, okay. My cousin is living her best life. She's in Hawaii. She got her man, you know, and she's also living a life away from family. And not everybody in our family is in her business. I got a big family, y'all. Right? Everybody know everybody business. Y'all know how it be. Everybody knows everybody's business. And I wanted that little bit of privacy because my family's so big. So I was like, damn, I made it easy for my recruiter. I ain't gonna hold you. I made it easy for him. You know, I helped him meet his quota that time for sure. I hope he's doing well. I helped him meet his quota. So I go through the whole process of signing the paperwork and signing my life away and going through MEPS and fucking swearing in for the first time and then one more time, and time flies, like literally, because when I tell y'all, so I chose security forces because they were leaving, like that would get me out of here quicker, or the quickest, however you want to say. Anyway, I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. And on top of that, I was like, the motherfuckers riding four-wheelers. They're riding four-wheelers. Nobody warned me what really happens when you are new security forces. So I'm like, all right, I'm out this bitch. And the day comes, it's time for me to go. I done got my hair braided, you know, to last me for the 8.5 weeks. I'm like, let's do this thing. And I didn't pack my shit, right? I just packed enough. I watched so many YouTube videos before it was my time to go, so what to expect. So I'm like, okay, let me not do too much. Let me wear a plain t-shirt because they're not gonna come from my neck when as soon as I get off the bus. tuck my shit in and have my hair already pulled back. And I'm like, okay, give me my little envelope, board the plane to fly to San Antonio, because we all know if you were in the Air Force or were in the Air Force, you already know where I'm going. The gateway to the Air Force. Duh. So I get there and it's like probably like it's late at night, either late at night, early in the morning. I don't know. All I know is that I had been traveling all day and a motherfucker was tired. We get through the gate to go on base, and that's when I was like, what the fuck did I get myself into? Then I was like, dang, am I really doing so much was happening in my head? I'm like, am I really doing this? I really was doing that. So all I remember is that somebody got on the bus talking about, they said something about as soon as you get off this bus, get in line, something like that. Make sure you have your envelope and something hand and all of this stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool. Mind y'all, I packed a backpack. I was not going to carry no duffel bag because I had watched videos to prepare me. I packed a backpack, not that much stuff, not too much. I'm sitting inside that freaking atrium for like hours before they finally called my name, my last name Jones. And then I finally get assigned to the dorm. Now, at that time that I went through, Disneyland was brand new. Like they only had one. So if you know what I'm talking about. Disneyland is the newer dorms that they have for basic training. So I mean, hey, all that waiting paid off, I guess, because finally get to Disneyland at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and my MTI at the time, Staff Sergeant Adams, she said, "Welcome to BMT," and turned off the lights. And I guess that was our cue to go to sleep. I don't even know, but we was all confused and tired. Probably like 4 hours later, we being woken up. And we start that shit. Now, I will say those 8.5 weeks were not a blur. The best part of my military experience. I will say that basic training was probably the best part of my military experience. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm surprised. Honestly, I surprised myself by making it, right? So go through the 8.5 weeks, went through so much stuff with my girls that I liked. Be honest, I didn't like everybody. I'm not for everybody, everybody not for me. But went through those 8.5 weeks, and at one point I started out as a latrine queen, ended up as an element leader. Somehow, how the fuck do you get fired from being latrine queen to an element leader? I didn't like that, but it happened because I was trying to stay under the radar. Like I had a plan. But that did not. It didn't. It didn't go as planned, and I'm not mad at it. Then get through that. Everybody's talking about something. Yeah, we're going to tech school. Da 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 da. Now me, I didn't do enough research, right? So I don't know where my tech school is. I don't know, but it's okay because the Air Force knew. I was literally just going to go down the street. I'm over here like, yeah, my traveling finally starts. Psych. Everybody else is like, yeah, I gotta catch a flight to go to this base, this base. This one has a beach and da 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 da. I'm like, man, I wonder where mine's is gonna be at. It has to be cool because it's security forces. I was down the street. Disappointment. Very much so disappointed. So I'm like, damn, fuck it. Now I gotta go ahead and get through tech school so I can finally, like start my military life. Then I'm like, okay. So we go down the street. And I'm like, everybody told me when you get to tech school, they stop yelling at you and shit like that. So I can't wait to live life like that. Psych. Get to tech school for security forces. Them jokers is over here. It's like BMT 2.0. I'm like, dang, man, I can't catch a fucking break. So when are y'all gonna start treating us like humans? And at this point in my mind, I'm like, so this is what the military is gonna be like for however long that I'm in. Like, and I had did a 6-year contract at the time. So I'm like, dang, these 6 years is about to be like hell. Like motherfuckers don't know how to talk to each other or act like people. Like, and you expect me to take off this uniform and know how to function the way y'all talking to me? Mm, child, child, child. So I'm like, well, fuck it. Gotta go ahead and suck it up. And I'm like, put my game face on, going through it. Like, but I will say, like, over time, as time progressed while I was in tech school, the further along you got, obviously, the more they start talking to you like, you know, you're a person again type shit. At least that's how I viewed it. Um, but it was also kind of sad, like, because I was still talking to my girls that I went through BNT with, and I'm like checking in on them, asking them how they're living their best life. Like I see them posting pictures at the beach and with their class members and their fucking instructors, and I'm like, so what's wrong with mine? Why they so angry all the time? You know what I mean? I did not know that there had been a scandal that happened a couple months or almost like 6 months before I went through. So I'm like, okay, I'm learning this stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's why y'all act like this because of that little scandal that happened. It makes sense, sort of, not really, because the people who went through the scandal, they're gone. But I get why to protect yourself, you got to act a certain way, type shit. Got it, got it, got it, got it. Go through tech school. I have my fun moments with my friends. We do some hood rat shit every once in a while. Go get tattoos like everybody do. Go get piercings. I was not getting tattoos. I'm lying. I'm lying. I don't know why I lied to y'all like that. I lied. I did. I got like one tattoo, like really small tattoo when I was in tech school. Mostly I was over there. Yeah. And let me tell y'all something. Story time for another time. Y'all gonna have to remind me to tell y'all how messy these people were in tech school. I cannot make this shit up. So go through it, and then it's finally time for us to check and see what base we got, right? Now, I'm already in my mind like, dang, they about to stick my ass in the States. I don't want to be here. So I'm like, everybody's checking their shit, and then my whole team is getting overseas with the exception of like 4 or 5 people. And I'm like, okay, y'all done on the computer, it's my turn. Like, I'm over here, it's my turn. So I log in, and I'm over here freaking the fuck out. My shit don't work. So I'm like, hey, my email and stuff's not working. I can't log in. Get that fixed finally. I'm like, okay, now it's my time. Now it's my time. Over here, nervous as fuck. I check, and it pops up, and I'm like, I don't know where the fuck this place is, because I'm not, like I told y'all, I chose to join the Air Force on a whim. Okay, I just was like, yeah, let me do this because I need to do something in my life. So I didn't know the bases like a whole bunch of other people that came in with me. They just knew the bases. Like, oh, this base is this place. I know the name of this base because I'm not that crazy. I wasn't that crazy about it like that. So I'm like, okay. So I asked Google my shit because I'm like, where the fuck is this at? And I end up getting England. I was so fucking happy. I started crying. I said, ain't no fucking way. Because I had always wanted to go to England. I'm like, I had watched it on TV. And I'm like, one day I'm going to go there. Don't know how, but one day I'm going to go there. So I was at Lakenheath for my first base. And man. So I go through the rest of tech school. happy as hell. I don't give a fuck if you yelling in my face. I don't care if I'm falling, and I don't care if the shit equipment is heavy as hell. All I know is that once I'm done here, I'm going to a whole nother country. So you can't rain on my parade at all. So I go through tech school, I make it out, and I think it was like my last week there. Yeah, it had to be my last week there. It was my last week there, and like at one of them days, one of them nights during that week, I had a dream that I had short hair, but I was already in England. So I'm like, okay. I said, let me ponder on this for a little bit. Now, me, I'm the type of person that if I see it in a dream or some shit like that that has to do with me, I'm gonna end up doing it in real life because I have to. I have to. I don't know. It's a sign, and I'm gonna pay attention to that fucking sign. So I have to do it. So I come home before I fly out to England. Like I take like my 2 weeks of leave and do rap and shit like that. And I was like, hey mom, before I go, before this week is up, I need to cut my hair. She's like, what do you mean? It's like, I need to cut my hair. Well, that's random. You don't even like short hair. I was like, I know, but I need to cut it. Why? I said, because I had a dream that I had short hair when I was in England. I have to cut it before I go. So I cut my fucking hair, y'all. Cut my fucking hair. Probably one of the best experiences and decisions I had made too. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I dreamed about it, but I did it. I cut my hair, and that was probably like 2 days before I flew to England. So I'm at home packing my stuff, got no hair on my head, bald headed as fuck, and happy as hell. Like, yeah, I cut it all off. The craziest shit ever. I'm still baffles me to this day. And I get to the airport to leave, everything like that. It's all sad and this and that. I'm saying bye to my whole family. Like, I love y'all. I'm out this bitch though. Like, I love y'all, but I'm happy to be leaving. Like, very fucking happy. And don't know what to expect. Was lost as shit. I tell you, when I tell y'all, I had very minimal contact with my sponsor. I am barely about to be 20 at that time. I was very much so discombobulated. Like, I said, well, I'm here. Don't know what the fuck to do, but I'm here. I'm surprised I didn't. No, I did get lost. I got lost in the airport. I got lost in the fucking airport. Got lost in the airport trying to reach out to my sponsor. I'm thinking that the base is probably like 20 minutes away because went through London Heathrow Airport. Hell fucking nah. Then I find out that there's a place. Oh, I'm over here. So I will say, when I got to the airport out here to fly out to England, I'm like, hey, I was honest. I'm very honest. I said, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. I'm in the military and I'm supposed to be stationed in England, and I don't know what you need from me. The lady at the airport is so fucking nice. Don't know who she is, but she's a beautiful person for what she did. This woman upgraded me to fucking first class. So all my flights, I'm big chilling on my way there. And I'm like, dang, that's what it's like to be in the military. It's not. It's not like that. That don't always happen. But it happened that time, and I'm like, so I've never flown like that before. And I'm in my own little cubicle, and I got a whole bed up in that bitch, and I'm chilling. And, the stewardess comes around. She's like, do you want some champagne? Mind y'all, I was not of drinking age in the States. But when she said that, I said, yeah, sure. Had my first sip of alcohol on a plane. And I felt like such a rebel. I felt like such a badass. I said, mm, thank you. So I get there. Now we're back. I get there to England and lost his shit. find out that there's a bus that I gotta hop on that takes you from the airport to base. And then I'm like, well, I need money. I didn't know any better at that time to check the currency and shit like that, right? Like I said, it's my first time out of the country, period, traveling big like this. So I'm like, yeah, I think I pulled out like 500 pounds. For what? I don't know. I don't know. In my mind, because I was so young and naive, I'm like, my card's not going to work here. I got to pull out cash while I'm at the airport where my card works. I laugh now. So slow. Nobody told me anything. No, nobody told me anything. In my defense, never traveled big like that overseas, none of that stuff. So I didn't know no better. Don't do too much. Don't do too much. So I do that, hop on the bus. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, dang, where this base at? Like, it's taking us a little bit long to get here. At one point, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a nap because I'm fucking tired. I'm sure they'll wake me up when we get there. We finally get to fucking base. Probably like 2.5 hours later, almost 3. And I'm like, damn. I'm thinking that I'm about to be in London, living my best London girl life. No, I'm in the countryside. I'm not complaining because I'm in another country. I'm not complaining. You know, very fascinated. We're on the wrong side of the road type shit. That shit's fascinating. So I get there, bald headed, hopeful, and get to the gate. And the security forces member comes to the gate. And I'm like, damn, it sucks. Sucks to have that job. And I'm just like, yeah. In my mind, that couldn't be me, right? Could not be me. So my sponsor is at work that day. He's at work. I didn't know. When he gets off work, he's like, hey, let's get you a dorm room. I'm like, okay, cool. This motherfucker don't even live in a dorm. He was cool as hell though, but I gave him so much shit when we became cool. I said, you was a horrible sponsor. Cause you had me out here lost in the sauce, my guy. You had me lost. Get checked into my dorm. Don't know what I'm doing with my life. I had very minimal instructions, but end up reporting in the next day to my unit and in processing and stuff like that. And that's where I met the other people who were just in tech school with me, but on a different team that just got there. And they're in processing at the same time as me. So I'm like, okay, cool. At least I'm not doing this shit alone. But I don't know them. I do not know them because they were not on my team. So I'm like, okay, fuck it. I need friends though. Go through phase 1 and everything like that. Make some friends there too, as well as the dudes who were in processing with me. And I think it was like my 3rd week in England. And I'm like, all right, I got to explore something. Like, I can't just keep going to this fucking dorm room. It smells, it's weird, and I don't like it. And I don't like the fact that I got to share a bathroom still with somebody when I should be living by myself. So I'm like, I got to get the fuck up out of here. I hear the guys that I'm in processing with, like, yeah, we're going to London this week. And I said, can I come? Now, this is their own fault, assuming because I was bald headed and I was not doing my makeup going to work. I didn't feel the need to do all of that shit. So they was like, they said, yeah, sure, you could be with us. You know, you like one of the guys. I'm like, say less, big dog, say less. So I go to London for the first time and I go ahead and get drunk for the first time. And they were for real like big brothers and protecting me, made sure I was good. But I had told them, I said, y'all, I ain't never got drunk before. Now, I didn't live life like that. I didn't live life like that. I was, like I said, I was a good serial procrastinator and I was just basic and boring. I was a boring, basic teenager. Didn't do much. So I'm out there living my best life and shit like that. Now, I will say those 2 years in England were like the best and worst time. You know, I had got there and got booed up. and shit like that. I'm over here agreeing to get married at a young age to a motherfucker who wasn't loyal. He wasn't loyal. Y'all military men. I'm not gonna say that military women are the best either, but you military men, y'all something else. I tell you that much. Y'all motherfuckers y'all know how to mess up a woman's life. And mm, uh, it's just not okay. Did not know no better at that time though. So I'm over here living the dream. And probably like me being there 8, 9 months, I get tasked to deploy. My goodness. So I get tasked to deploy. And I'm like, okay, where we going? Because people was talking about deployment. Some were good and some were bad. So I'm like, okay, I don't know much. And I'm like, I'm freaking out. Then they tell us that we're going somewhere that's 60 miles from Syria. And I started freaking out because at that time, I was like, I'm too young to die. What are we doing? I was like, I don't want to go. Over here, like, shit, how do I get out of this? Didn't get out of it. Did not get out of it. I'm glad that I went. It was good because I had a good team. The location was shit, but my team was A1. We was A1. Like they really took care of me, and I hope that they see me doing the same. I don't know, but we was a fucking one. So they made it good, but the location was shit. The shit that happened over there was shit. Um, but honestly, I feel like that's when my decline went. Like, because when I got back to England, I no longer had a boo. The man's cheated on me within 2 weeks of me being gone, talking about something. I got lonely. How you get lonely in 2 weeks? And what the fuck you think I am? I'm all the way out here. I can't even go out and celebrate Halloween and go to the fucking dorm parties like you can. Like, I'm out here living in a fucking tent and you got lonely. Anyway, so yeah. He is his own story. Himself. He is his own story. Yeah, story. So out there, get back, ain't got no man, gotta go get my stuff from him, get my car back from him, because he didn't give it to none of my friends after I broke up with his ass, after I found out he was cheating. And he over here trying to reconcile and shit like that. And I guess the girl that he had been messing around with, she had just deployed when I got back. So he was like, well, I'm like, sir, I'm not here to occupy your time. I'm here to get my stuff and go. We're not ever going to be cool. But at that time, I was very much so pissed off too. So I had went through some stuff. I had lost somebody significant to me as well. So it was just like a whole lot going on at once. And I felt a little bit vindictive. And I knew one of his friends, well, a couple of his friends was feeling me. So I went for some of them because I can. Like I said, us military women are not shit either. But men ain't shit more than women ain't shit. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. So, yeah, get back. All of that stuff happens. Have to take emergency leave to come home for the funeral. And at that point, I'm just like, I don't want to be in the military no more. I don't like it here. Like, I'm too far away from family. I missed out on opportunities because I was far away. I don't like that. I don't want to be in no more. So by that time, I mean, and it was just a whole lot of emotions. That was just me trying to function, I guess, and process everything, but not in the right way. So when I got back to England, I was like, yeah, I'm on a mission to get the fuck out. Like, I want to get kicked out, but I still want my benefits at the same time. And I had just hit my 2 year mark, working on my 3 year mark of being in the military. So I was like, yeah, I got to go ahead and get the fuck ASAP. Yeah, that obviously the only that's I have so like I said, y'all, I got so much shit, but ended up to it ended up playing out to where I ended up getting demoted. I didn't get kicked out, I got demoted. And my commander at the time, she had said some stuff that not only woke me up but hurt my feelings at the same time. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna show y'all motherfuckers. Like at this point, say less. And I didn't have anybody sticking up for me at that time either. So it was just like, and there were witnesses to the stuff that was said, but nobody was like, hey, ma'am, you're taking it too far. So I was like, okay, I'm about to show y'all motherfuckers. You know what? Fuck all y'all. I did what I had to do to stay in, and it just resulted in me getting demoted. Also losing my base, my follow-on base, because after England, I was supposed to stay overseas and go to Belgium. But I fucked myself over. I take full responsibility for that. I had plans though for Belgium, bitches. I had motherfucking plans, and I had travel plans too that I had to cancel. That's what I get for jumping the fucking anyway. So no, my base got switched for me to come back to the U.S. of A. and be stationed in Del Rio, Texas. Where the fuck is that? Exactly. It's the armpit of Texas. It is a small base in Del Rio, Texas. And it is Del Rio, Texas. That's all I gotta say about that. So I get to Del Rio and I am very much so jaded. You know, I'm over here like, I chose to stay in, but for what? What is my fucking purpose on staying in? Like, I don't even fucking like this job. I hate these fucking people. Everybody is the fucking same and they don't care. They do not fucking care. So I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But I also get to Del Rio and get involved with somebody again. Another military man. Shocker, shocker, shocker. But I also get out there like, okay, we in the military, so military is universal. We all understand you're going to have dorm parties. You're going to go out with people and all of this stuff. You know how to have fun, right? So I'm expecting the energy to be the same as it was in England. Because when I was in England, every off day I had plans. I'm either going somewhere with my people or we going to a dorm party or we're hosting a dorm party. And I was still younger. So I'm like, okay, where the party at? Where the party at? I get out there to Del Rio. I'm like, where the party's at? Where the party's at? Ain't nobody doing shit. Because one, it's a small ass fucking base. And two, it's a small ass fucking town. You're like 3 hours away from San Antonio, which was the closest major city. Like, so there's not much to do out there, right? But me, I'm searching. I'm searching because I said I need to do something. I need something to occupy my time, keep my mind off of things. Like I need to get it going. Let's go. I'm ready to party. So, y'all, I had got out there and learned how to sit my ass down. I mean, because one, I'm not driving 3 hours there and 3 hours back every fucking day that I have off. I'm not doing that. But then I was like, okay, I got really big into my fitness when I got out there again and ended up getting injured. I was doing self PT and ended up fucking up my knee. Fucking up my knee. Like when I say I fucked up my knee, as in my kneecap was in place at one point, then that bitch was on the side of my fucking, yeah. And it got stuck there. That's how bad I fucked my shit up. And I was like, damn. Like, that's literally the first thing that popped in my head when it happened. I was like, fuck. And I was like, well, here's this. Now, if you know in security forces, you go to medical for anything, they're going to talk they shit, right? But that one, I had to go to medical. I had to because bitch's kneecap is out of place. I can't really do much with that. You know, I go through the whole process at that point. And this is like, I had just hit my 3-year mark not too long before that. So I'm like, okay, I'm halfway through my contract. I can do this shit. And then that happens, and I'm like, well, fuck. So, you know, go through all this stuff, medical appointments, doctor telling me, yeah, your kneecap's dislocated. I said, I know that, sir. I can move it freely like this. He's like, oh, that's not normal. I said, no shit. And he's like, well, yeah, you're going to have surgery. I'm like, is there an alternative or something like that? Obviously not. Obviously not. Your kneecap's out of place, Desiree. So I'm like, okay, what if I don't get the surgery? Then I'm just going to be not able to walk. I was afraid. I don't know. I never had surgery before. So I'm like, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm so scared. And they tell me like either you get surgery or you get kicked out. I'm like, well, I have something I need to follow through on, so let's go ahead and get that surgery. I get my surgery, and man, oh man, they had told me before, like, yeah, it's gonna be a year-long recovery. I did not prepare myself for that. That shit had me spiraling, and like it just, yeah, not being able to be mobile and do things is very much so depressing. And that kind of started a depressive cycle. I mean, it made me sit with my thoughts, which means I had to face the trauma that I had experienced the year before and my deployment and stuff like that. So now I'm over here like, oh shit, I'm declining. I'm declining. I have no vices. Before that happened, my vices was either partying or, working out. I can't do either of those because I got meds, and then my knee, I'm immobile at this moment. I can't do anything. I don't have full range of motion, none of that stuff. So I'm just stuck. And I'm like, well, declining, slowly declining, very much so, fastly declining now. And then that's when I started seeing mental health. Now this is the beginning of the end of my military career, but somehow I held on for 7 more years after that. I started seeing mental health. And that's where they read me for filth, pretty much, and told me about myself and exposed me and called me out on my shit and the trauma that I have been pushing back. uh, yeah. Man. So I go through. I've been. I start consistently seeing mental health now because, you know, it's becoming helpful for me, and I didn't realize how much I needed to get off my chest. But if you know security forces, you know that that is frowned upon, because if you go seek mental health for your issues, then you cannot hold a gun for an extended period of time, which makes you useless to the unit because they cannot post you out to either be a patrol or work the gate, and they're losing a body because you want to take care of yourself. And I felt guilty. I started feeling guilty because I'm like, dang, my people are having to work for me. I mean, even though I can't fucking stand up without crutches, but over time, when I started being able to walk and stuff like that, I was still seeing mental health. I needed them. So I started consistently going to see mental health and stuff like that. And they're like, well, we can't do anything with you. We're going to give you this back office position because you are a responsible person, And then I start working back office and getting FaceTime. But, me, well, y'all don't know me yet, but you will learn me. I do not hold my tongue. I don't care who you are. I don't hold my tongue. So I was getting that FaceTime, which was cool, but I was getting that FaceTime, which means that my leadership started to learn me. And I found myself in a few pickles here and there while I was in those positions. But I also found myself in helpful positions too, because then I was able to learn that I could get my stripes back and stuff like that. So I started working my ass off, trying to prove a point, because there was a lot of people talking shit. And I was like, all right, I'm going to show y'all why they keep me back here. It's not because I'm injured, because I'm good now. But no, I worked my ass off. So I started to actually enjoy working in security forces when I was able to learn the different positions of security forces. So I spent about like 3 years at Laughlin before I PCS to San Antonio, just up the fucking street. I PCS San Antonio and ended up at Fort Sam Houston. That was not a bad base, but it had some shitty people. I mean, but there's shitty people everywhere. It was not a bad base. I ended up at Fort Sam Houston, and I started seeing mental health again, because I had went through some stuff, while my ended time at Laughlin. I went through some stuff that was very traumatic. So, and that's also what got me to Fort Sam too. It played a part. I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. It played a part in me getting that PCS to Fort Sam. And what I had to, it was mandatory for me to go seek mental health after that. So I started seeing mental health again, and which again resulted in me not being able to hold a gun. But I was able to work flight with people. So I got to get that interaction again, which felt good. It felt good to have an interaction. You know, at that point, I had already made my way back up to senior airman, and I was trying to test for staff to catch up to my peers that had been in with me this entire time. So I'm like, all right, I'm playing catch up still. And I had tested before I left Laughlin for the first time. Didn't know I was testing or was going to be eligible to test. So I tested without studying. I missed it by 8 points. Take it the following year when I'm at Fort Sam, and I make it. I make it. And I was like, honestly, for me, that was such a big moment because, you know, after being told you'll be lucky if you make it out the Air Force with one stripe, or, well, since you're staying in, you'll be leaving my Air Force and you'll be lucky if you make it to senior airman. I made it to staff. And when I made it to staff, I was like, I can't wait to make it to tech. I made it to staff. You can't tell me shit now. And being able to show without having to be like, boom, bitch, but hey, I fucking did that. I did that. I didn't give up on myself the way that y'all gave up on me. So make it to staff, but I'm on a mission. Like, I'm like, okay, I need to be that NCO that was not the NCO that I needed to everybody else. I'm going to be that one, and I made sure to keep that promise too. You know, I want to say, because I retired, I medically retired out of Fort Sam, but I want to say that was probably my best base. And the little 3 last years of my enlistment spent there was probably the best part. I I reconnected with my now sister. Like, she's always been my sister, but I reconnected with her, not my sister by blood, but we've been through this whole military journey together. We grew stronger, and I also made such good bonds with other people too. And I was able to be that person that I needed to other people, even if they didn't realize it. It wasn't for them to know. It was more so for me to prove that it can happen. It can be done. But my last 3 years, it was good. I was tested a lot. I was very much tested a lot. Motherfuckers was testing my gangster 100%. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. They was testing me a lot. You know, some of the airmen who were once my peers, but now they're my troops, was trying to test me. And I'm like, y'all really tested me in the worst way possible. And I don't like that. I don't respect it and I don't like it. You know, I learned a lot too, but it got to a point with me going to mental health that I was 9 alpha and no longer able to be security forces. So they were like, hey, do you want to retrain into a different career field? I'm like, hell yeah, I do. I done made it to staff. I'm ready to keep this shit going. Like, I done made this shit. I'm going to go ahead and stay in for the full 20. Give me another job. I got denied that because of my medical records. I got denied that, and they were like, you're not fit to stay in the military. Unfortunately, we're going to go ahead and start the med board process for you. And I was just like, I'm going to fight that because that's bullshit. Because they don't realize I had seen so much since being in. Like, one of my tech school instructors literally had his leg blown off and he was still in the Air Force. So how the fuck am I not fit? So I fought. I obviously lost because here I am with purple hair. Like, I lost that fight. And at the time it was upsetting. Now I'm seeing it as a blessing that it's supposed to be, you know? But went through that whole process. They're like, yeah, we're going to medically retire you. I was very much so, it was like a bittersweet moment. Bitter because this is the end of something that I've known my entire adult life. Sweet because I'm retiring at a very young age, and that's not a common thing. So I was like, okay, cool. Um, Went through that whole long ass process because the med board is so long. It's so fucking long. They were like, yeah, it's gonna be 6 months. It was 2 years actually. It was 2 years. Well, no, it was almost 2 years. And I was like, okay, almost like a year and a year and like 8 months. Yeah, a year and 8 months of people ask me, so what's happening? What's happening? I don't know. I don't even know what's happening. I have no idea. They don't really keep you in the loop through the whole med board process. You have to be the one to initiate the hey, what's going on? Hey, what's my status? Hey, when do I have to do these evaluations for medical and VA? Hey, what's going on? Me, I'm very much so. I'll roll up on you before I give you a phone call. The only reason I'm giving you a phone call is because when I rolled up on you, you were not in your office. That's the type of person that I am. So it was just like, okay, when I rolled up, dude was always in his office, with the exception of like 1 or 2 times. So I was like, hey, sir, what's happening with my stuff? Oh, what's your name again? Every time, y'all, every time. What's your name again? Now I get that they're busy. Pueblos are busy. I get it. But, sir, my name is on my name tape. It's on my name tape. What you mean, what's my name again? So, but yeah, the med board process, that shit happened. And then it was like, okay, well, everything's said and done. Now what? Well, now you go ahead, take terminal leave. I took terminal leave, and I am not gonna lie to y'all. That's what all the way up until February 27th. February 27th was my retirement date. I had a hard time. I had a hard time. So let me explain this part. People do not People talk about how happy they are being out the military because you get freedom again. You get to do so many things, but they do not tell you how hard it is to transition from military life to civilian life. Like it's still new to me. It's still new to me, and I'm still trying to navigate and figure it out. I'm You're conditioned. It depends on, like, especially if you've been in for a long time, you're conditioned to live your life a certain way. So I am unlearning and learning things as I go, but it's just so it's mentally hard. It's mentally hard. Um and like trying to get involved in support groups, and I go to therapy. I am a big advocate for therapy. When I finally stopped giving a fuck what anybody else thought, I became a big advocate for therapy. It's so helpful. I go to therapy. Even out of the military, I have been going to therapy. That was literally one of the first things that I made sure was set up for me was therapy, because I need it. I need it. I need it. I need it. Everybody needs therapy, but like, it's important. Everybody needs therapy. It's very important. I think that has been helpful. Having a good support system too. My friends are amazing. My friends are amazing. My family is amazing. They've helped me out through it too. I'm very, very thankful. It's just, and I say this to say that we all have our support. It just depends on if we're going to use it. I have a tendency to isolate myself if if I'm thrown off by something. And I have been fighting to not do that this entire process. You know, finding a job or getting started in school, or just not having that same routine where you wake up at 0400 in the morning to get ready for work, and not being around the people you've been with for years it's so hard. It's so hard. It's it's not like a smooth transition whatsoever, because it wasn't something that I eased out of. It was like one day I was doing this and the next day I'm not doing it no more. It just happened. It just happened so fast. There was no easing into it. So yeah, that's what brought me to this. It brought me to this. Like, I ain't gonna hold y'all. This is like, one, I said I've been trying to do this for years. I've been wanting to do it for years because I cannot make up the shit that happens in my life. I can't make the shit up. I don't even know where to begin. I felt like beginning with my military for the first video was probably the best part. Even though I didn't go into detail on everything, but if y'all want to know details on stuff, please let me know in the comments for sure. But I just need y'all to know, like, this is where I'm coming from, and this is why this is happening. I have time now. This is like a video diary for me or some shit, but not really. I just need somewhere to talk about this shit. So I guess it is a video diary. Yeah. But this is what this is. It's me talking about it in hopes that hearing some of my stories and the shit that I go through, not just military shit either, like literally life, motherfuckers, life. But just like, I don't know, be like, oh, I relate type shit. I don't know. And my intrusive thoughts too. But yeah, here we are. That's my 9.5 years of military in a nutshell. So there's that. Welcome to the first video. I hope y'all liked it. Let me know what y'all want me to talk about in the comments. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share my video to people. If you want to, I'll go in detail about a lot of stuff. I'll tell you about the VA and what I've been going through now, starting school, all of this stuff. I'm an open book, y'all, so just let me know. Yeah. See y'all later.